Hi, my name is Vlad Kolzeev. I'm a PhD student at the business school formerly known as CAS and soon to be known as BASE. My research interests lie at the intersection of creativity, human-computer interaction, and clinical psychology. The main goal of my PhD is the development of a digital intervention that will provide process-specific emotional and motivational support to creators during long-term projects. This work is responding to several calls made in the literature, some of which are very recent. First, to expand understanding and support of creativity beyond divergent thinking and idea generation. Second, to understand mobility in and as creativity. And finally, to explore the role of emotional abilities in the navigation of complex creative work. To do this, I'm largely drawing on two theories. First, the sociocultural theory of creativity, which argues that creativity arises out of the interactions between the creator and their environment, and specifically through the utilization of novel affordances. Second is the reinforcement sensitivity theory of personality, which explains human personality and emotion from the perspective of rewards and punishments, positive and negative stimuli, which are then navigated by approach and avoidance neural systems. How do these two come together? The main theoretical assumption here is that objects, physical and cultural, in the external world afford for both novel uses and rewarding internal states. However, utilizing either is likely to not be straightforward, thus leading to emotional responses and associated regulation needs. For example, the Rubik's Cube affords, by design, for satisfaction that comes from solving it via a small c pathway. However, this is far from guaranteed, and emotional reactions produced by the interaction might well be different. What about a practical example close to home for a lot of us? Let's take a set of academic papers as the object. It might be approached based on the possibility of a rewarding state, such as satisfying one's curiosity. But once that happens, there are several factors to consider. One is direction. The outcome of the process depends highly on the affordances chosen. Extracting a novel theoretical combination to write an essay would result in academic creativity. Plotting the age of the papers in years to create an abstract shape would lead to a very different creative domain, a visual one. This one is for the references in my paper. The second factor is progress or movement through this extraction process. Anything but the most trivial level of involvement is likely to create at least some uncomfortable situations in which the path towards either the affordance or the rewarding state is unclear or blocked by resistance from the environment. Practically, this means that a large proportion of the creative process is spent in a state of conflict, goal or otherwise. Time spent interacting with incomplete products, weak arguments, and poor decorations. Hence the mixed emotional landscape of the creative process and the recent interest in emotional regulation. How can these conflicted states be supported? Once this framework for approach, avoidance, and interaction patterns within the process is developed, it will be studied empirically using the creative process report diary with professional creators to determine possible support mechanisms. Participants are likely to be electronic music producers, sound artists, and other individual digital creatives, as this will allow to integrate the developed tools into their primary workspace. The digital CRD tool used for data collection will be expanded to include support features. These are expected to fall into categories based on their theoretical classification, such as approach issues that would constitute motivational problems, and avoidance issues which are likely to be connected to feelings of anxiety and uncertainty. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to participating in the Graduate Student Symposium.